Grand Rising Soul Tribe, Tracy here with Sweet Spot e-magazine. Thank you so very much for the likes, the shares, views, subscribes, the comments, the generous donations in all forms, everything. I appreciate it all. Let's ring the spell this morning. Let's clear out this energy, and then we're going to see what the message the Spirit has for us. I missed y'all yesterday, but I needed to take a break. Someone is having some internal thoughts, things that they're not expressing on the outside, but it's definitely being felt on the inside. See, somebody failed to follow their own intuition. Their intuition told them to turn right. And instead, what they did was, a lot of times when we fail to follow our own intuition, we will say, oh, no. We're not really supposed to turn right. We're actually supposed to turn left. They failed to follow their intuition. And instead of going in the direction that God told them to go, they went the opposite way. Now they're upset. Clearly, they are upset. And everyone can see that not only are they upset, but they are unhappy. Grand Rising Lightworker William. Hey, Alicia. They are having to deal with their own bad decision and unhappiness. Bottom of the deck. This is the justice that they are deserving. Hey, Malcolm. Because who are we to doubt God? When God says, go this way. When God says, do this thing. When God says, listen to this information. When God says, speak up. Who are we to doubt God? That's what this person did. And that's why they are receiving this karma. But see, somebody thought that they had a better plan. And they was going to try and get this money. They said that they was going to try and get this money as opposed to, because they felt like if they went with this person holding this heart, that person was going to restrict them in some sort of way. That person, if I go with this one, she going to hold me back. Clearly, there were some things that this person could not see. Clearly. See, God had a plan. God had a plan for this person. But this person thought that they would have something better. They thought that what they was going to do was going to be just like you, was going to replace you in some sort of way. Once again, God had a plan for this person. And this person failed to use their intuition when it came to them asking for what they truly wanted to be happy. God was going to give it to them. But they didn't listen. They walked away from their own happiness. What they walked away from was the door to value. All that money that they wanted, God said, just go towards this person. I'm going to make sure you get paid. But instead, they went in their own direction, and now they feel stuck. They feel stuck and tied to someone they don't even want to be tied to, or a situation they don't want to be tied to. Their heart is now broken. They're unhappy. Because you know what they did? They lied to themselves. Instead of them trusting in God, they lied to themselves. See, all they had to do was go the direction that God said to go. They would have had the money. They would have had the happiness. They would have had the love. They would have had somebody that was committed to them and by their side. All they had to do was go in the way that God said to go, and to appreciate who God was trying to bless them with. Appreciate it. They would have had it all of it. See, it's unfortunate when, our conscience is talking to us. And the reason that we even have a conscience is so that we can hear God when God is speaking to us. We sit here and we will try and justify how we feel, what we think is best for us. And every time we try and make it so that we're following our own plan, I'm following my own device, we always fuck it up each and every time. But when God says, no, I don't want you to do that, trust me, that word, trust. Have faith. Don't lean on your own understanding, because there's everything that you don't know. I already know. God said, I have already planned your life perfectly, and I want to give you everything that you always wanted. I just need you to have faith and trust and not lean on your own understanding, so that I can put it out for you. I have already prepared the table. I've already put out the red carpet, all of that. You just need to go on. You just need to go the way I asked you to. See, God had everything already planned for this person. Somebody who balances them. Hey, Shalia. Hey, Hypsee. Somebody who was there to teach them some things, to make sure that they had all the knowledge that they needed, so that they would be ready, so that they could ascend. This person like ascended, and now this somebody that they were supposed to go with has ascended, and they are stuck right there, upset, pissed off, feeling angry, feeling hostile, because you know why? They didn't have faith in God. Something about this person that, yeah, you have that personal power. Somebody felt like if they went their own way and when things turned out, that's going to increase their confidence. That's going to increase, how they felt about themselves. Yeah, sure, if it was going to work out. But guess what? That's not the path that God served, the day God needed you to be on. God sent an angel here to help, to guide, to direct your steps. And instead of you believing in what God said, you chose your own path. Now, like I said, somebody is so upset because they were so stubborn. Their ego was so big. They felt like they knew it all. They was determined that I'm going this way. Now this person has sat there and watched you go through the door to personal healing and happiness by yourself. And they're upset because you know what? It's like you're leaving. You have no choice but to leave. And they're feeling that whenever you left, that love left too. They're thinking about this relationship. They're thinking about how, they felt about you. They're thinking about the pleasure, the emotions. They're thinking about how creative you are. And they're thinking about how they squandered it all. This person is thinking about everything that they should have said but chose not to say. and how they should have had their heart open, but they chose to keep it closed and shut. Just thinking about all of that. Now I feel like this person is praying in prayer. This person they have no choice. They know that they can't keep going in the wrong direction. That's not going to get them any closer to where they want to go. Someone is finding out that all the money in the world was not where they needed to go. They didn't need to go to Fort Knox and open up the vault door and go in there and close the vault and just be surrounded by all the money in the world, because that was not where their happiness lay. Now this person is distraught, having anxious thoughts. Now this person can't sleep. They're either can't eat or they're eating too much. They may be drinking too much. Now this person is all in their head. When all they had to do was go in the direction that God said, God had already prepared this feast for them. Lightworker William, thank you so very much. The feast was already prepared. The table was already set. The guests, the angelic guests, their passed over loved ones, whether they had met them, remembered them or not, they were already there. They were already scheduled to have that victory. They were already scheduled to have this blossoming abundance, everything turning out for them, confirmation, blessing after blessing after blessing. Like they say, pressed down, shaken together, running over. It was already for them. But now this person is sitting here on the outside looking at you, getting it all, having it all, appreciating all of it. And what does this person get in return? Nothing. Instead of this person going the direction that God asked them to go, they tried to follow the crowd. God said, don't follow that crowd. Go through this door, the door to spirit. There's only enough room for you. There's not enough room for your friends, because your friends, A, don't deserve it. B, were never meant to be there. And C, were never meant to receive the gifts that I have for you. And instead of, like I said, that person understanding that, our spiritual walk is a singular walk. We don't go down there holding hand to hand with everybody else. It's a singular walk. They chose not to go. It's almost like they was upset they couldn't take their friends. This person refused. It's like they refused to listen or to open up their third eye to see that the choice that they were going to make could either be a wonderful choice or very detrimental. Girl, I'm going to put you in the garage. It's like they refused to listen to the downloads that God was trying to share with them. It's like they were afraid to get on this journey because the journey was only going to heal them from everything that had hurt them that entire life. Taking care of those childhood wounds, taking care of the times when they felt slighted, taking care of the times when they felt left out, taking care of the times when they felt like they weren't enough. That was their journey. This was their time. Like I said, this is their time to shine. Hey, Robert. And instead of balancing everything out, they chose to break everything down. They chose that to destroy it all. But that destroying only hurt them. And now this person is sitting here looking at everything, thinking about everything that they've done, how much has been destroyed by a decision that they single-handedly made. Not only are they thinking about everything, now they're looking at, what they really destroyed was their own security, was their own safety. They destroyed like the security in knowing that their own basic needs were going to be met. What's the message, Spirit? All they had to do, if they wanted good karma, was to be with the person who balanced them out. That's all they had to do. That's all God asked them to do. God didn't ask them to get on this tight wire that's 78 stories in the sky and to balance everything. No, they were to have both feet firmly planted on the ground, to have the faith, to have the confidence that they didn't even have to really think about anything too much. They just had to follow God's voice. That was it. Hey, Robert, did I say hello? See, somebody thought that happiness came from what they had in their pocket. Now they realize that them chasing the dollar, they got further away. They got further away. And now it's clear that what they're attached to is not what they want. They looked at you like you was an option. God said you was never an option. You was the only choice. Now someone sees what they didn't see. How they would get themselves in a position that it was going to be hard to get out of. Like I said, now they see that you weren't an option. You were the only choice. Hey, Tia. What's the message, Spirit? Thank you. Yes. Now somebody understands, that love is a gift. Love is a gift. Love is what makes you happy. Love is what satisfies that part of you inside that someone feels, that they don't have enough. When you love, when you allow yourself to love, it's like it fulfills those holes within you. People that don't love themselves, or they refute love from someone else, those are the people that are never satisfied. Never. You can give them all the money in the world, You can give them all the cars, all the houses, all the land, all of this, all of that, all of this, all the most richest and finest foods and everything else. But these people are never satisfied. And you know how you know? Because then they'll sit there and watch somebody who doesn't have anything except love. And instead of them being satisfied that I have it all and this person has nothing except for love, they will try and take everything that that person has, every relationship, every friendship. They will try and emulate this person. They will try and be just like this person. They will try and look just like this person. They will do all of that shit because that's the one thing they don't have. That's how you know. All the money in the world cannot make you happy. Hey, Miss Grand Marquise. Someone thought that they would have something that, mirrored love. No, you can't even mirror love. Either is or it's not. Someone is realizing that they should have appreciated the love that you gave because it cannot be duplicated. It can't be found in anyone else. It can't be substituted. Do you know how you have a substitute teacher? That substitute teacher is never like your regular teacher. It's like they can almost get it right, but they can't get it right. You could almost learn from them, but you can't really learn from them like that regular teacher. Someone was afraid of their own shadow side. They were afraid of facing their own deep, dark secrets. They were afraid of looking at themselves, dealing with themselves. But see, if they would have looked at themselves, if they would have dealt with their own secrets, if they would have, just followed the carpet was already let out. I mean, there were already flashing lights in which direction this person needed to go. Had they followed that direction, they would be here. Like I said, the red carpet was already laid out. They would have been there. This wouldn't even be an issue. They wouldn't even be thinking about, what am I going to do now? They wouldn't be upset about, why did I make that decision? Why did I go down that road? Why did I choose that choice? They were afraid to understand that what they heard was the truth. They were afraid to understand that, that they were afraid to follow their own first mind because, trust me and believe me, God had told them, but they just didn't want to listen. And that's what happens whenever we don't follow our own intuition. God tells us, God says, you need to go over there. But somebody's always going to go, no, because that one don't have. This one got it. That one don't have it. This one got it. But God said, no. I want you to go over there. Man, go on with that. I'm going over there. Only to get over there and find out it was a trap. It was a test. You was being set up. Hey, loving plants. How are you? Hey, create. Someone realizes now they was being set up. They was being set up and they thought they was going somewhere to be happy. No, they was going somewhere to be tied down, to be chained. You know, you can if there's two people, one loves you with their entire heart and the other one has all the money in the world. Which one are you going to choose? You going to choose the money? Or you going to choose the love? Someone should have really honestly thought about that. Because they was at that crossroads. The same crossroads that we hear about. And you know, what was the name of that one guitar player? What was his name? Robert Johnson or something like that. He played the guitar. Everybody was like he was not that good at all. You know, a lot of the strings was off key. You know, he couldn't really get it right. You know, he wanted to be famous. He wanted to play the guitar. He wanted to be known as the best guitar player in the world. And then he went to the crossroads. Was there at midnight. Put his guitar down on the ground, and he got up, he knelt on one knee like as if he was praying to something. And next thing you know, this big old dark shadow comes from behind him, grabs the guitar, tunes it up, and says, "Come on, I got something to teach you." He follows this dark entity. And next thing you know, he goes back to town and he's playing the guitar, and everybody's like, "Whoa, is this the same one? Who was this? Who was this?" People was looking at him coming from all over to hear him play because they was so, number one, they was so shocked. Is this the same one? Number two, he was like saying that whenever you could see him playing the guitar, it's almost like you could see a dark shadow behind him. I think he only made like 26 songs or something. But then when it came time to pay that piper, he was not ready. He was not ready. So we all go to the crossroads. And when we're there, we have to take it all seriously now. Because you only get one time to commit. You cannot go on one side and then change your mind and then go on the other side. You only get one opportunity. So you better think carefully. Hey, Star. Yes. Somebody has to think about the choice that they made. It was almost like, you know, they could have been healed. Had they been healed, everything would have balanced out and this tower would not have hit. But they made a choice not to be healed. Hey, Behaving Goals. How are you? Someone is realizing they should have spoke up. They should have said something. They're realizing now that them not saying anything is what actually broke their heart. Them not being honest with you, telling you how they truly felt. And you know, and somebody felt like they gained more power over a situation if they chose not to say anything. You know, those that if you don't say nothing, you gain the power. No, if you don't say nothing, you just go down in misery. Speak your piece. Fuck the silent treatment. Silent treatment never did nothing right by nobody. Confirmation. Speak your motherfucking piece. Sasha? Sasha? Someone realizes now there was a whole lot they didn't see. There was a whole lot they didn't know. They did not read the fine print, just like that guitar player at the crossroads. Now they're in a position they can't get out of. Because once you make a deal with the devil there is no exit clause. And the devil says, you about to sign this contract, but you better read it very closely. There is no exit clause. What's the message? Anything else from this deck? Hey, Red Violet, how are you? Hey, Napping the Matrix, how are you? See? Someone refused to read the fine print. And the one thing they do not have is love. That table that was laid out for them, those ancestors, those angels, those spirit guides, even the archangels, everybody had to leave. The celebration was called off. That's what they wanted. They thought that they had all the answers, only to find out they didn't have any. What's the message? Anything else from this deck? Yeah. They're not happy. They are not happy. Everybody can see this. All they have to do is just look at that person. That person walks around with their eyes pointed towards the ground. Because everybody can see they're not happy with that choice that they made. They don't want people to look at them in their eye. They don't want anyone to see how unhappy that they are. How they don't want anyone to see how they was afraid to go through that gate. They was afraid to go on the path that was specifically for them. They don't want anyone to see how upset they truly are. How miserable they feel that their life has become. All because they lack the courage to go on their singular journey. All because they felt like they needed to have a whole barrage of people around them. People that was not going to do them right. People that was not going to be able to do for them what God promised to do for them. Because God has made a promise to us all. God wants us to do is to honor him. To have faith and trust in him. God said you don't even have to start off with a whole lot. You can start off with a mustard seed. You know how small a mustard seed is? Go to the grocery store. Ask to buy some mustard seeds and just get one. That's how much faith that you needed to start off with, was that of a mustard seed. Hey, Tia. That's it. Bottom of the deck. This Wheel of Fortune is turning. It's turning in your favor because you had the faith of a mustard seed. Things are turning in your favor because you know what? Whenever you prayed to God. And someone is watching you. Somebody that holds a lot of weight. Somebody that holds a lot of power, they are now watching you. They're seeing the difference in you. They're seeing how loving you are. Like you're even more loving than you were before. You know, they're seeing how open and honest and just kind and generous and bubbly you are. How your life has increased leaps and bounds, and it's like, yes, you know what, like they're watching you, your power grow. They're watching how many things that you are receiving. And it's not like you're sitting there putting on social media, yeah, I just got this. Look at me riding around in my Benz, y'all. Yeah, this is a Maserati 357. It can go from 0 to 100 in 12 seconds. Watch this. You're not doing all of that. You're being very humble. But it's like that light within you is shining so bright. People cannot help but to see that. Hey, Latasha. Thank you so very much. Someone is looking for that light within themselves. They're looking for the answer. They're searching for their own light because they know that it's something that they've been holding back. They've been holding back from feeling confident to let their own light shine through. Somebody's been working on themselves, working on getting past what they felt like they had to measure up to what everybody else was thinking about them, or they were so worried about what somebody else thought about them, or what somebody else was going to say about them, or what somebody else was going to do. What's this and somebody is working on that part of themselves, the part that says, I no longer give a flying monkey fuck about what anybody got to say. Because then somebody's realizing now that they hurt themselves. Somebody's always going to have something negative to say about them. No matter what we do, no matter how hard we try, no matter how good of a person we try to be, no matter how many backflips we can do and then turn around and do some front flips and then do some aerials and then do some cartwheels and then do some back bends and then stand and walk our hands for 3 miles and then go right into another backflip and then go through the hoops of fire with gasoline draws on while twirling lit dynamite sticks in our mouth. No matter what we do, somebody always going to have something to say. So somebody is finally realizing it's time to let that shit go. They're realizing that, you know what, they worried about the wrong motherfucking thing. They should have been concentrating on how somebody was lying to them. How somebody was souping them up, but how somebody was making them think that, all you gonna do is just follow me. I know the way. Fuck the crossroads. Because all they did was lead them in the wrong fucking direction. They now know the truth. They now understand that truth. And the truth of the matter is, they allowed themselves to break their own heart. They realized, you know what? This old dirty, demonic, evil, witch, bitch, they need to get away from this person. It was this person that fucked them up. And now they're going to have to find a way to get away from that person. And like I said, once you sign that contract with the devil, you jumped in for life, baby. You jumped in for life. Someone realized that someone was throwing you the evil eye. That you wasn't the evil person. That they was dealing with the evil person that was throwing you the evil eye. They realized there was a whole lot of lies, whole lot of secrets, a whole lot of shit that they did not see, that they didn't care to know, that they didn't care to find out, that they followed. Somebody's realizing now they laid that guitar down at the crossroads. And you know the thing about that guitar player, what is his name? Robert Johnson or something like that. That fame came and went. Like I said, he only had like 26 records. And you know, he died an early death. It came and it went. Now somebody's thinking about healing, the healing that they need to do. Wondering if it's too late. Wondering if it's too late to pick another route, to choose God. It's never too late to choose God, baby. It ain't never too late to choose God. You can always fight for the right. Fight to be righteous. Fight to follow the path that you know you need to be on. Tommy Johnson, thank you. Thank you, Miss Graham Marquise. Someone is slowly but surely waking up. They're starting to see things differently. They're starting to see that they sacrifice themselves. They sacrifice themselves all for the sake of trying to get some money. What kind of sacrifice is that? They're seeing now they should have followed their intuition. Their intuition has been there. Their intuition has been trying to guide them. They're seeing now that you know what, they should have went with you. Just like God asked them to. Because they're really seeing that you know what, them following the crowd, that's what got them fucked up. That's what got them stuck. That's what got them upset. That's what got them being controlled. That's what got them in trouble with the law. Doing something stupid. This is what's getting them left out in the cold. You know, people are leaving them. They thought that somebody was going to be there, and no matter what I did, somebody's going to be there like you would have been there. But you know what? The moment that they did something stupid and the law got involved, they heard them sirens. Everybody scattered. You know how you got a cup of water and you got salt all in it, and you put one little teeny tiny drop of soap, and that salt goes zoom to the sides. That's what they did. They left them. They thought somebody had so much power, so many tricks, so many games, so much that they was going to get this money by tomorrow. All of that shit blew up in their face, including the one thing that they truly wanted: a happy life. I feel like Archangel Michael is coming in quickly, or this person is traveling towards you to speak some peace, to tell the truth. To tell the truth about something that you already knew. Someone is coming because they need to bear their soul. They're having a conviction of spirit. They want to be able to sleep at night. They want to be able to have that happy life. They want to be able to feel that joy that they used to feel. This person is coming in to really dedicate their life to God, because now they understand that God is real. And God is no joke. This ain't no play. This ain't no, option. You could have an option, but they've already seen the part that they don't ever want to return. Someone is coming and they want to make things right. They want to apologize. They want to offer you that cup of love, because you know what? They know that everything else that they thought that they could get, that they could connive, that somebody else could provide, and that it was promising them that we can do this and we can do, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. Everybody else they see that shit is bullshit. That whoever they thought they could count on turned their back on them. Even whenever they was at the part where they needed them the most, and they were sitting there waiting and waiting and waiting, somebody turned their back on them. And they see that shit is over. Like I said, they're going to come. They're going to apologize. They're going to step out on faith. They are going to step out on faith now, because they see that there is no other way. They don't want to. They no longer want to pay with their soul. They no longer think it's cool. They no longer feel that money is the root of, it is the root of happiness. No, they see that money, if it's not put in its proper perspective, because we all need it to live, but if it's not put in its proper perspective, is the root of all evil. What's the message, Spirit? We're going to get a couple of these, and then I'm going to... Time for somebody to redirect, to go in another direction. The direction that they see that they know they should have went in the first motherfucking place. Because they know they was doing something that was against spiritual law, against physical law. They was doing some illegal shit. It was time for somebody to redirect. And they know that, like I said, they thought that they was at that crossroads, and they was like, oh, I'm going to get this, and I'm going to be famous, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have that. And that dark entity, that demon, that devil said, yeah, I'm going to give you everything that you asked for, and then some. You just don't know it. They was like, bet. Sign me up. They feel like they're going to forever hold a spiritual stain because of this. They don't know how you, and this could have been the devil, don't know how you evaded their schemes, because they made that same empty promise to you. And I'm good. I'm going to follow God. God's got my back. See, this person now feels like a piece of shit for going in the wrong direction. And maybe your parents called you weak for taking the hard way, but the hard way was the right way, because the easy way don't ever pay. Now they're being seen as vain, negative, toxic, and miserable. And they played with God. They never played with you. They played with God. Now this person cannot stop from trolling your social media pages. They can't stop from looking at you. And they know that they was nothing but a two-faced fucker, thinking that they was playing you, only to find out they played themselves. What else, Spirit? Then we're going to swing this pendulum. This child is confused. Somebody was confused. They didn't realize that they changed their entire destiny. Let's go ahead and swing the pendulum. Think of your question, y'all. Think of your question. All right, Spirit, which way is the pendulum going to swing this morning? Looks like it's starting to be a yes. Looks like it is a yes. What, girl? Go, what? All right, y'all. You see who's Miss Nosy McNosy is here. Okay, just a minute, Sasha. All right, y'all. Thank you so very much. Just a minute, little girl. Let me go ahead and get her on out the way. I love y'all. Thank you so very much for hanging out with me. She is not going to go away. Let me go ahead and end this now. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you all. Go on, girl. Go on, go on, go on. Here I come. Here I come. Just a minute. Here I come. Here I come. Have a wonderful day today. Bye now.